Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it's finally time to lift the YJ. I've been letting it sit for far too long. So I have the parts. I've shown you in previous videos a collection of parts that I had that I've just been sitting, and they've been sitting for far too long. So today I have the 3.5 inch BDS lift kit, and I'm gonna try and put it on. It's probably gonna take way longer than I expect, but let's get it going. Real quick, this is just kind of a look. I have the BDS 3.5 inch leaf spring kit. The only thing I'm worried about is the front leaf springs and the rear leaf springs have a different part number. And it looks like I have all four of these are just front leaf springs. So we'll see what happens. It's funny, the instructions say to remove the track bar. We already did that. That was a pain in the butt. Next are the wheels. So it's kind of funny because this thing's so old, the lug nuts, there's 3 different sizes on this, 18, 19, and 21. So it'd be good to lift it and put new tires and just have all the same size lug nuts. Now let's see if the axle drops too far without the tires. There we go. Next step is disconnect the sway bar end links. They look nice and old and crusty. So these are an 18. Oh, it's not too bad. So the top end link actually needs to be replaced because we'll be replacing the whole link. And that has a cotter pin on the top. That's something I didn't think of. We'll probably have to buy new cotter pins. Wonder if this will just, oh, the bottom did anyway. Bigger hammer. Yeah, that's problematic. Man, I'm gonna need like a ball joint puller to get these off. Luckily on the other side, this bottom slid off. I just have to take the whole sway bar off and then deal with this a different way. All right. I'm gonna take the sway bar off. Oh, come on, there's a nut on the other side. All right, like any true automotive fastener, it's a 14 on the inside and a 15 on the outside. All right, driver's side. They're actually captured into this bracket for the steering box, so you don't need a wrench on the inside. All right, next is the brake line extensions. Kind of go back into here, and you can peel this little part back, but there's a bolt in there. You can actually get to it. It's right there. So I'll have to undo these and put the brake line extensions in. All right, there's these brackets with a slight bend. This is for the brake line adjustment. It says to point this part down and forward, so it'll be something like this on the frame. The problem is I'm using the factory bolt, but it doesn't specify if there's another bolt to attach the brake line to the bracket. This bolt is for the frame. So we'll have to do that later. All right, brake line extension number 2 is down there under the airbox. So I might have to take the airbox because I cannot reach that. Okay, driver's side. I was actually able to get the bolt off. The problem is there's no play in this driver's side. So I think I'm gonna have to just replace the actual brake line and just get longer lines. All right, time to take the U-bolts off for the differential or the leaf springs. All right, now that I got the bottom of the leaf pack undone from the axle, now we just gotta undo the bolts holding the leaf spring to the frame. So I'll go ahead and do that now. These are also 19, these bottom ones. Probably have to loosen this top just a little bit to get this to drop out. Man, these bushings are shot. Of course, the frame one's like a 21 or something. 21 it is. All right, inside is a 23. Yep. All right, the first stock one is out. Real quick, this is what the difference is between the stock one and the 3.5-inch lift one. All right, something important to note here is the two bushings have different diameters. And part of that, you know, when you go to push it into the bushing sleeve, or the sleeves have different diameters. So this is the rear bolt that goes on the Jeep, and it is only big enough to go into the larger diameter sleeve. It won't go in the smaller sleeve, because the front bolt for the shackle goes in this one. So just make sure you have the right bolt or the sleeve for the front and rear of where the leaf springs mount. So the bushings can go in by hand pretty easily. I think it's interesting, it doesn't say anything about lubing them, so I'm not going to. And then these mostly just go in by hand, and I just use this little shim plate and finish pushing it down. There we go. All right. Put the new leaf springs in. Just gonna set it on this plate for now, and then line up the rear. Oh, the bushing is tight. Maybe too tight. That's gonna be a problem. Nothing just goes in. All right, at least we can hang the front while I try and work on this rear. Should probably just use a little bit of grease to get it in here. What a pain in the butt. Try a little silicone spray and see if that helps a little bit. Oh, that'll do it. Hammer go. That'll work. Problem now is getting the axle down there far enough. I have to let down the other side too. Okay, so the next issue is filling this gap in right here with the U-bolts and the plate down here. I got it on the other side. The problem is the axle is bent forward a little bit, and it's reached its limit with the shocks. The shocks are fully extended. And my jack bottomed out, so I need to figure out a way to rotate the axle up a little bit. For now, I'll just loosely put the U-bolts on this side and go from there. One thing to note, the front has two U-bolts that are larger. That's because it goes over the axle disconnect on the inside. The larger one does, and then the smaller one goes on the inside. So what I had to do on the other side was disconnect this bolt so that I can push the spring up, which will take the slack out of those. Hopefully that's enough. There we go. And the jack stand. So good. All right, I'm gonna drop the shock and see if I can get any more out of this. Oh, that's the wrong way. I am dumb. All right, well, I just ended up using a pry bar and turned the C's on the axle a little bit, enough so that I was able to line it up. All right, the kit came with new shocks. I have to see, all the boxes are marked the same, so I have to see which ones are the front. Go ahead and replace the front ones first. Some bushings. Lucky draw. Front shock. This is the other front. All right, so I'll get these installed. I have to push in some bushings first. All right, the shocks are pretty easy to set up. With the bushings and the bolts, a new sticker, which I don't care about because it'll just come off when you off-road anyway. And then I already got the other one set up, but this bushing, you just kind of push on it. Oh, the other one worked so much easier. Probably should have used the lube. There we go. And then the top hat with the bushing. And then I'll put together the rest of the parts in a little bit. Let's go install one on the side. All right, I almost forgot. The bolt on the back is a 19 as well. See if my little wrench can have the power to break this. Nope. Nope. It's like welded into the bushing too. There we go. God, that's so much rust. Whew, man, so much longer. All right. Now I'll do the same on the other side. Just wanted to show real quick how absolutely awesomely curved my steering is. Good thing I bought a new one. All right, so got the shocks, got the springs where I think they should be. Everything's kind of just a little tight right now. I need to torque it down still. But at this point it says to put on the tires and then drop the weight down on the tires. So I'll go ahead and do that. All right, it is on its own. I do need to tighten everything up. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna have to take a break after this because this took, like I said, way longer than I thought it should. Let me show you underneath. All right, there's not a whole lot to see. I mean, we have the new leaf springs here, got the new U-bolts. I still need to connect the sway bar. I'm having a hard time because those are really hard to get out, so I can't get the new links put in. I'm using this as the tool. The pointer, I probably should put in the pitman arm. I might have to do that later because I'll have to get an actual pitman arm puller and that looks welded in together. And then you can see how awful the steering is. Might save that for a later day because this is taking so much time. Got the new shocks in. Now we'll just move on to the transfer case spacer. All right, here we are, the transfer case skid. This spacer is actually supposed to go in between here to help, I think, correct the driveline angle for the rear. So we have to lower these 3 bolts and lower this just a little bit. All right, well, see if we can lower this down and then put these little spacers underneath here. Look at the rust on that. I need to clean this up first. All right, I've got it lowered down. Seems slightly sketchy, but see if we can get it to work. Spacing is different between the 3 holes front to back. This is a pain. I really don't like this. I don't know if that's seating correctly or not. Oh. Lift your Jeep, he said. It'll be fun. All right, the instructions don't really say so, except for Rough Country's instructions do. But you should loosen these bolts underneath here, holding the transmission in, and it'll help get the spacers on. All right, guys, Future Sean here. After editing some of this video has taken way longer than I thought it would, and it's quite a bit longer than I expected. So I'm going to break this up into two parts. This video is just going to cover the front install of the suspension lift, and then the next video that I'll have out shortly will cover the rear install. So thank you guys if you've made it this far in the video. I'll have the next one out very soon. Thanks for watching.